Hey guys, hope you're doing fine. Welcome to another episode of Science Talks. My name is Aman, and in this video we're going to discuss the use of G71 code in CNC turning. So just sit back, relax, and let's roll. G71 is basically used for stock removal during turning. Using G71, we can do roughing and finishing as well. But there is a certain disadvantage of using G71. G71 is applied to most of the cases where the diameter of a component is keep on increasing. So if the diameter of a component is initially less than the final position, for those components we can easily use G71. Let us consider a cylindrical bar of diameter 15 mm, and let us suppose we need to make a bar of 10 mm out of it. So it means we need to remove this much amount of material from this bar. So there are basically two ways of doing it. First is by turning and second is by facing. So in turning, if we move our tool in this position, this is called turning, and if we move our tool in this position, this is called facing. So as you can see, if our tool moves axially along the axis, it's called turning, and if our tool moves along the face, it's called facing. In this video, we'll focus on turning because G71 is used for stock removal during turning. Now let's make a program using G71. Now let's consider a cylindrical bar of length 70 mm and of diameter 96 mm, and also consider we need to make this shape out of this whole bar. Since the diameter here is keep on increasing, so we can easily use G71 here. So let's start our program with our program number, which is 01234, and in the next line G28 is used for home position and T04 to call tool number 4 with an offset number 4, and G97 is used for constant RPM, which is 700, and M03 to start the spindle in clockwise direction, and also G0 to rapidly call the tool anywhere near the workpiece. So if this is our workpiece, this is our origin, which is 0, 0. So initially we rapidly call our tool using G0 anywhere near the workpiece. So in this case, our tool will stop at X98, which is approximately at this position, and Z2, which is 2 mm on Z axis. So approximately at this position, X98 and Z2, our tool will rapidly jump at this position. So before using G71, let's make our tool path. So as you can see, our tool will start cutting from position A, following the point B, C, D, E, F, and will end up at point G. So our tool path will be this. Now let's make a program for our tool path. So I have already called our tool at position X98 and Z2. Now we'll further call it more closer by giving rapidly, which means G0, X30 and Z2, which means at this position at 2 mm on Z axis and 30 on X axis. So after we move our tool from position A to position B, so we'll just give G01, X30, that is same, and Z minus 20 with a feed rate of 0.2. So in this line, our tool will move from this position to point B with a feed rate of 0.2. So further, we'll use G01, X from point B to C. The value of X is 40. So X40 Now after this line, our tool will move from position B to position C. So now since our tool is at point C and we need to move our tool from point C to point D, and this is an arc, so we can use G02 for circular interpolation, which means G02 for circular interpolation, the value of x, which is 60 at point D, the value of z, which is 20 plus 10, 30 in minus, and the feed rate, which is 0.2. So at point D, I will further move from point D to point E using G01. The value of x remains 60 and z changes from minus 30 to minus 50. 20 plus 10 plus 20, which is minus 50, and the feed rate of 0.2. Now from point E we move to point F by giving G01 x 90, that's it. And further from point F we'll just move to point G by giving x 90 and z minus 70. So in this program our tool will start moving from point A and covering the whole path, end up at point G. Now let's jump to our main program. So until here I have called our tool at a position x98 and z2. So after that we directly use G71. So these two lines are the syntax of using G71. After that we'll just insert the program we have created for our tool path. Also at the end we'll use G28 for home position, M05 to stop the spindle, and M02 to end the program. So here we'll use G71 followed by the values of U and R. U defines the depth of cut, so here U.5 defines the depth of cut of 0.5 mm. So in this case whenever our tool moves along our tool path, it will remove 0.5 mm of material during each cut. R defines the retraction amount, so here R1 defines the retraction amount of 1 mm, which means during each cycle, whenever a cycle is completed, our tool will lift up 1 mm and then return back to its original position. So R defines the retraction amount. Also P and Q defines the initial and the final line of our program. So as you can see, I have created the program for the tool path, and let's define or let's denote the initial line of this program with N100 and the final line of this program with N107. So if the initial line is 100, the value of P will become P100, and if the final line of this program is N107, the value of Q will become Q107. So the value of P and Q simply defines the position of our tool path. P defines the initial position and Q defines the final position. So if we need to move our tool in cycles from this point, let's suppose point A to this point, we just need to create a program for this tool path, and the initial line, which is N10, will term as a value of P, and the final line, which is N107, will be termed as the value for Q. U and W are the values for allowances along X and Z axis. U generally defines the allowance on X axis and W generally defines the allowance on Z axis. So once the program is completed, if we give the value of U.1 and W.1, our tool will remain a margin of 0.1 mm both on X and Z axis, and at last we can use G70 for a finishing cut to remove the 0.1 mm of margin for a better finish. But in this case I have used U0 and W0, so there is no need for using a G70. So that is how we use G71 to turn a program, starting initially calling a tool anywhere near the program using G71 according to its syntax, and then also making a program for the tool path, and at the end calling it to home position, stopping the spindle and ending the program by M02. So that was all from my side today. If you find this video informative, do like and share with your friends. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot.